Welcome to the Senior Synth stream. I hope my level is loud enough. I'm using a new mixer. Um, Today, there is another stream going on where most of the guests are. Um, well, I didn't know about that. But here, right now, we have David from the United States. Welcome.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, good.
Um, you, I will check the levels during the stream.
Yeah, sometimes this mic, I've got to get it just right. If I move my head a lot, it starts to, but it's kind of my backup. When everything else doesn't work, I just put the mic in. It always works.
Yeah, yeah. We also have Dan Phillips. He's having some troubles right now, but he is working on it.
Good.
So he will come on soon. How are you, David? It's a
How are
long time
you?
since you joined.
I know. I'm pretty good. It's been a it's been an interesting year, job change and just things I wasn't really planning. So needed to kind of get through all that, and now had to kind of put the music on hold for about 6 months. But this is kind of, I think I was saying on the Facebook with you, it's kind of it's kind of the healing process now. I'm kind of getting back and kind of reset things up. I got my little jam section in the back, and I got the Kodama Mask EX back there, which has been a lot of fun the last week. And there's Dan. Hold on, we'll say hi to him and see if we got him.
Yeah, I still can't get the right camera going, so I'm still working on that
Yeah.
Okay.
today. Can you give me just a bit, Henrik, please?
Yeah.
I'll just turn off the camera. That's fine, and
Just pretend like he's not there.
just pretend I'm not here.
Even if we hear him. I hear voices. So anyways, yeah. So I've got yeah. How about you, Henrik? How you feeling?
I'm feeling fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm working on a new mixer, and I'm it's the Zoom L12, and
Ooh, that's what I
I
have.
have to
Is it the
work
original
between the
L12?
mixes and or what do you call them, the monitor outs,
Yeah.
and the master, and yeah. For example, your audio shouldn't get out on the stream through my computer. It should get out via StreamYard. So I have to turn that off on the master, but I still have to have it in my ear. so yeah. I'm working on that. Well, Dan is still working on his
Yeah.
setup.
Is that the original L12? It's not the new one.
Yeah, not the new one.
No, of course they had
It's
the.
called Next or something like that.
Yeah, it's got a little better 32-bit float. I think it's got a
Yeah,
couple
but
other
I think
interesting
it
things.
already has 32-bit. This one.
I don't. Well, maybe in the computer. Yeah, not if you're
Yeah.
using the hardware.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's a little. Yeah, I use the L12 for almost exclusively for a lot of recordings. So most of them, and I think it's 2448 through when you use just the hardware. I think they upgraded it on the new one. And they did some other cool stuff. I think there's some layering functions on some of the tracks you can do.
Probably better effects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though I like the ping pong. That's the only one I really use.
Yeah, that's the only one.
For
which is-
recording. Yeah, I don't use the reverb so much or anything, but sometimes I glue things with ping pong just real
Yeah.
subtly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, that's a nice workhorse. Hopefully get it.
Yeah,
I never used it as a DAW, so
I like it. Right now I'm using it as an audio interface, but I will try to work with the SD card and do some recordings on it.
yeah.
I should have thought of getting one with MIDI so I could sync up.
You have to get
what
the
I'm doing.
Tascam.
It's always
Yeah,
good
that's never.
to have something for live use.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I've got plenty of MIDI workarounds, so I've kind of gotten used to not having it. I don't know how it, but yeah, I know that's a big thing for a lot of people for sure.
Yeah.
But it's a nice mixer for certainly if you want to go out somewhere and do some recordings or just do some hardware jam recordings. I used to set
Yeah.
mine up just for that, so
Yeah.
you can kind of have it separate. It's very usable. And then you got the
So
stems all set up. But I know we're not here to talk about Zoom Live Track, probably.
it's okay. It's okay. Um, yeah, I will use this for mostly for the noise shows instead of the old Behringer. I had some trouble with some audio I didn't hear, but was on the stream. Some high pitched noises and something like that. It's better here, I hope. So, yeah, welcome, Dan. Let's hear if we can hear you.
Hey, how are you doing?
Yeah, we're doing fine. How are you?
It's being a more involved week of Christmas than I'd expected. My mom had some uh, health things going on, so been focusing on that to a certain extent. Um, but yeah, in general, things are well.
Good. Yeah, here. You all know about my problems. I don't have to tell about that.
It's good to see you upright and speaking.
Yeah. If I go offline, then I'm just taking care of it, and I will return in a few minutes.
All right.
So that may happen. So
Okay.
well, today here on the Senior Synth stream, should we check the chat first to see who's there? Let's see. There. We have Matt Brown and Costa Kai, Steve Elbows, and 8 Orb. I can't remember what I used to call him. Well, I will come up with that later. And we have Tempo Roboto, and that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. More will come. Another stream is running at the moment. I don't know when that will end or if it will end. Sometimes it's an 8-hour stream, the other stream.
Competing stream?
So, yeah. Well, yeah, it happens.
Yeah,
So
they bounce around too.
yeah, that's okay. So people who want to watch this, they are welcome here. And Tim is on, Tim Dale. So we do have a good audience already. So let's talk about the topic, and that's 2025. We are wrapping it up. So what? Where shall we start? Did you get what you wanted to get for 2025? Dan?
You mean in terms of gear?
Yeah, it's a synthesizer show.
I don't know. I mean, I think so. Yes, but my focus is on making it rather than getting it off. And so, we finished the stuff that we were working on and started new stuff. And so, so I'm happy about that. In terms of getting gear, what did I get? Probably a few plugins, but yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not very prepared for that question. I recently most of what I buy is like microphones and plugins. Basically, those are the things that I get. And but the thing is that I also make stuff, right? So I had a lot of fun with the PS3300 this year, and that was cool. So that was my big gear thing for the year
Oh,
was that.
that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. What about you, Dave?
I didn't buy a lot this year, but I think I was saying in the beginning, I did get that Kodamo Mask EX desktop. So that's been I've been really enjoying it. Just maybe because it's I don't want to say it's simple, but the interface is pretty limited, and you kind of don't get bogged down with too much in front of you. Um, but I really wanted to kind of try out that one, but I really did not want to try out for the big keyboard. So I was one of the lucky ones. I was on vacation and I saw it come up. I was on their email list, and I saw the price, and I just said, "Ah, shoot, I'm just going to try to grab it." And I think it was sold out within a day or two. So, yeah, so that one's been a lot of fun, and just making presets and then I'd love to get that sequential form just to have a little, kind of play around with it. That's kind of one that, again, probably looking at price point, which is important to me, most people, to be honest, but I just want to try it out, and I don't have any poly aftertouch stuff right now. And I'm just a huge fan of the Prophet, so other than that, I got the 1010 black box, but that's been close to a year now. I haven't used it as much as I've wanted, but I like that. And geez, like I said, this was not. If you'd asked me last year, gee, this is kind of a purging year. I wanted to start fresh. That was kind of 2025 for me.
Yeah. I'm still experimenting a little bit with my levels, I think.
Yeah. Ooh, never heard that.
Henrik,
Yeah, that was loud.
your mono on the left side.
Okay. Let's fix that. Let's see. I shouldn't be.
I'm hearing them both of my headphones.
Yeah, it's
interesting.
also showing.
So I
both
hear
channels.
you. I hear you in both, but for some reason, Henrik, I only hear in one. All right. Well, so something local here.
I think so. What are the chatters saying? Because it should be censored.
Yeah, they're the mediators.
Yeah, and both left and right is.
Well,
peeking out.
if you're hearing him in both, then it's just local, which is weird, but who knows? It's the internet. Ghosts of the machine.
Kostokai is saying I am streaming on the left.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely hear you.
Okay, let's.
No, I definitely hear them both. That's weird.
Now it should
Well,
be the right.
possible your mono?
The left is here, and center is here. Did it change anything?
Then again,
Not for me.
Not for you.
Troubleshooting, folks. This is live. It's exciting.
Yeah. Strange. That's weird.
Tell you guys that we once spent an hour, and it was 2 NAMM shows ago, I think, when they were first showing the key stage, the Poly Aftertouch controller keyboard, and I was there, and we were trying. This is the first time we were hooking up on the show with all the modules and everything, and things weren't working properly, and it was me and a couple other engineers. We were on it for like an hour and upgrading firmware and making sure. And it's true that some of the firmware wasn't quite upgraded and things, but we upgraded all the firmware and it still wasn't working. And then finally, after like an hour, someone suggested swapping one of the MIDI cables, and that it was a bad MIDI cable.
Yeah. Who hasn't tried a bad MIDI cable?
it's funny.
Live troubleshooting. It's always fun.
That's the first thing you try after rebooting.
Yeah. Well, that's what I did with the phone. That's what got the phone camera working this morning.
Yeah.
It's your turn, Henrik. You got to tell us now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I think you've got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I did buy some. I did. But I forgot the question. What was the question? It was something about 2025.
Yeah. Did you get
About new
what you
gear.
wanted? Yeah.
Yeah, did you get what you wanted?
Yes and no. um, I did get the Torso S4, a great ambient machine. So yes, that was a very good machine. There's still one I want, but I'm waiting for January where prices are usually low, at least here, and that's the Novation Peak.
Yeah. They've been going down, the used ones.
Yeah, but I would like one from new.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'd be fun to. That'd be a
Mhm.
fun one.
yeah. Um, so 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 that I haven't got yet, but let's see.
I wouldn't mind an
Yeah.
Op 6 either, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's a
I
good
would love
scent.
that. Yeah.
I like that. It's I know, Dan, you're not over the OB6, but I wish it was just as updated as the other synths that you are on. Um,
Did-
it's like it's not a priority at Cork. I don't know if I'm right on that.
Well, it's done by a different team. I mean, they released a 2.0 update, right? And they added this may have been just for the 61 keys, but they added layering for that, I think, and yeah,
Yeah,
so that's a pretty big upgrade actually. But
Yeah.
yeah. But I really like it. It can sound amazing, and it's the easiest way to work with FM. I think. Also, it has some other modes that makes it difficult, but that's another thing. But it's much better than I thought the first month I had it, and then I put it away, and then a year later I took it out and worked on it, and wow, it was much better than I remembered.
what do you like about it? What is it? What do you find easy or fun about it?
I can't remember.
Okay.
When I do the noise shows, I take out an instrument or two and work on that, and then I try to pick another one next week. So I also forget what was good.
Okay. Fair enough.
But I know I will take it out again and work on it. But I remember I could make a lot of sounds that I can't make with other synthesizers, and for the first time I learned FM and understood
Okay.
FM. I also have a Kodamo Essence FM, and it's also quite easy to program, but you have to know it in front or before that how to work with FM. Where on the OB6 it was much easier to experiment because you had the potentiometers, so you could easily change parameters. You shouldn't sit in the menu system and then turn things. That was that's probably the best thing about it. That it's so easy to work with. But again, it's not many knobs and buttons there are on the OP6, but it's just enough. And there is a little menu diving, but it's not many levels of diving. But one scent that I like a lot, I do have the wave state, and
Oh, I like that
and I
too.
have the plugin for the multi-poly,
Mm-hmm.
and the multi-poly. I like that.
That's a fun one.
So that's on my wish list too, a hardware version. But it will be. I don't like the keypad on any of those synths. So it will be a module.
You should try the multi-poly keypad because it's different from the other two.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Good.
the other two. Basically, there's a weighting system for it, and it makes a lot more sense with the weights, which is what we did for the multi-poly.
Okay.
They're all on desktop now, right? Almost all of them have a desktop.
Yeah, there
Right,
are desktops
yeah.
for all of them. Yeah.
That's probably what I'll do next. I know it's really a question of getting to things sometimes. Yeah, and certainly there's a couple of those chords. The wave state definitely is in there too. That it's just really needs
Yeah,
to
but
find the right time to get it to.
I got the first wave state, and the keyboard is actually the reason why I don't play a lot with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just get the desktop.
I didn't, but I have the plugin,
Yeah.
and it's good too.
No,
Yeah, it's the multi-poly. The main difference is that
but I agree with you on the multi-poly. It's another one that,
Yeah, it's one of the big
I know.
ones.
yeah.
you can see the metal bars underneath the keyboard on that. It's these guys, and
yeah,
that's the difference in
The
the
weight.
weight. So it's a much nicer feeling keypad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
really what it
so
comes
are you
down to.
saying I could
Put
take
weights.
the wave state and mount some metal plates?
Yeah, you could try.
on the keypad?
Good try.
Bet somebody could
I
do that.
I've never tried that before.
No, I probably won't try
But
it
there,
either.
yeah, it's a bar that goes all the way across the bottom of the keypad,
Yeah.
and it
Okay,
adds weight
interesting.
and solidity, and it's nice.
Keypads are kind of a rabbit hole. Like if you go to like a guitar center and just start playing them all, like it can really mess with your head too, because everything's, I don't know, I start hating everything. I'm like, oh, that feels weird, and I start comparing them all, and then I just kind of go, well, oh man, I can't handle this. But yeah, it's I think that well, I kind of am back to appreciating the desktops because I can just have one keyboard and have a very small area. It just kind of bring everything together and focus on it. One of the reasons I got rid of a lot of things was it was just getting too much for me to enjoy anymore.
Right.
Which I understand. I was fortunate to be in that situation, but I also understand that it just wasn't working for me, and I was kind of losing touch with all of them in a way that made me kind of, not really appreciate them anymore.
Yeah.
Until they're gone, of course. But so now I keep a couple away, and I put a couple in, and that's been weirdly I love just using the little reface keypad sometimes when I just really I like things really tight, like it's tight over there. It's just me and a keyboard or two, and somehow I just focus on everything much better. I can really hear what's going on and listening. But listen, one thing you were saying, Henrik, about the interfaces, what I find with the knobs and things, it's not necessarily I need control over everything. I just want control over some things, and I want to be able to affect the sound, in an interesting way. So I could see why you would like that on the. I certainly don't like the old, I like to have something to work with, to kind of just sculpt it a little bit, and start to kind of feel how it's interacting, how it all works. So yeah, it's a weird. It must. Dan, it must drive you crazy trying to figure out what's most important, other than filter. And sometimes there
Yeah.
is no filter. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I don't think there is a real easy answer because every synth's a little different with that. You
Yeah.
know, and you got to just kind of feel your way through it and say, "Oh, this is fun. Like I'm enjoying going through these wave shapes or something. Like and this would be cool if I could just put it on the mod wheel and you know." Um, so, yeah, I have to maybe I'll look at one of the chords next but I do like the little. Right now, I'm into the desktop kind of thing.
And you keep saying desktop as opposed to rack mount.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and I almost said rack mount for Wagyu because he's always somewhere in my head when I think of rack mount. Yeah, I have a rack over there. You can see my XTs in it, but
Yeah.
um, no, I think it's still more important. The desktop is more how you're trying to see it. Yeah, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, no, I like the portability. You know, you can. I think I know some people want an rack mount. I just um, I guess I could see it if you had a really nice, sophisticated studio and you were mounting things in desks and
Right.
that nature. But I tend to move around a little bit and move my studios, change my setup a little bit. I get very uncomfortable in my cluttered feeling really quick, so I have to have an adaptable kind of setup for myself. But um, yeah, the rack mount thing's interesting. I just to me that's a little antiquated personally. Um,
Mm-hmm.
though I certainly had it, and the XT's in there partially just to protect it too. That was Dom's, so it's kind of a really special piece that I kind of keep usually stored. But I just pulled it out today because I kind of wanted to hear it because I love it. I really love the sound of it. Sometimes I like to hear it versus other things. Sometimes you start to hear something, you're like, wow, that sounds big. And I'm like, well, let me put this on. And you're like, no, that's not, that's big. Like, that's kind of how I felt about the Kodama. I was like, it's not real big to me. It's actually kind of, um, it's not like a sequential, like an Oberheim or something, that when you hit it, it just like, holy cow, the whole room is full of harmonics and sounds. It's not what you're getting with something like that. It's not that you can't get there, but you have to really crank it up. It doesn't react like that. It's subtle, and you got to be more into like the little things that are swirling around in the sound. They're not necessarily harmonics, if you know what I mean. They're just like textures, real fun. The stuff I like that you know subtle bit masks and things, or not just the bit mask, but the what's the word I'm looking for? The degraded bits. I don't know why I can't think of the sound name. That you bit crushing, where it almost sounds like something's wrong, but it feels good. Also, you know, maybe that's a maybe that's for me. I meant to do that kind of. So yeah, yeah. This is I was going to mention I was really tempted by Pittsburgh Modular's Voltage Lab too, because they're I think they're selling them new for like 1,500 right now, which is it's just like a hell of a lot of um, synth for that money,
Mm.
But I'm just not there to even invest in that thing. It's just too much for me personally. But yeah,
The last big chunk of hardware I got was the H8000. I was just looking to see whether that was in 2025, but it was at the end of 2024. So
mm,
I don't know if that really counts for you, Henry.
It's okay.
yeah.
So, what gear did you get rid of in 2025?
Hmm. You know, I'm very slow about getting rid of gear, so I kind of have a queue of gear to get rid of. So I was just looking up, and I know there's a DAT machine that I can't. It's this old, beautiful Panasonic 3700. It's a bog standard DAT machine, right? And
Mm.
the problem is that most of my tapes don't play anymore. But I still can't quite bring myself to get rid of a media playback machine. So that's over there, and I see my older Eventide, and then a TC Fireworks on top of it. The TC Fireworks was really. Did you guys know the Fireworks at all?
No, no.
I remember the name, but I never had one.
They released it back in here. Hang on just a second. So this is from, I don't know, maybe late 90s. Should look it up. So it's this thing, and it has this matrix of many different effects, and you can this little screen that shows you basically a modular matrix of the effects blocks and how they're connected, and you can set up serial and parallel paths and feedback paths and all that stuff, and you can see it's a little dusty, but it's got all sorts of kind of crazy stuff in it. And my interpretation of it at the time was that they were working on making something that was just a generic multi-effect, and then someone pointed out that generic multi-effects were less likely to sell. I don't actually know the development process, but my impression is that they distinguished it not so much by its capabilities, although it had some very neat capabilities, but by its voicing. So it had a ton of extreme voicing in it, and that was really neat. It had lots and lots of modulation. Every modulation path had a curvature control, and you could modulate by audio, of course, but a lot of MIDI modulation and built-in LFOs and envelope followers for the audio, and it just kind of produced crazy stuff. But I just never used it very much. There was this one song long ago where I used some of the audio sidechaining and stuff to make this neat swell out of an electric guitar track. But it's I don't know. Since I'm selling it, I probably shouldn't say this, but I went through and I just kind of compared the Eventide, random Eventide presets to stuff on the Fireworks. And it's like putting audio through it. And almost always when I put something through the Eventide, it sounded better. And almost always when I put something through the Fireworks, I decided it sounded worse. So I finally decided to just take it out of the rack. It wasn't serving me anymore. So, I was very excited about it at the time, and it's still, incredibly flexible. And it's interesting to see these, these environments like, I don't know, the Blue Cat stuff, and DDMF has, Meta plugin, and then a simpler version of Meta plugin. And if you go back, actually, TC did an environment too, a matrix environment, really, I'm sure, very much inspired by the Fireworks, where, you could just plop down effects and create serial and parallel chains and feedback and merge them back together again and all this stuff. And
TC has a finalizer, for example, which has compressors and all that stuff.
Oh, sure. And I believe that it probably used a very similar hardware platform to this. Including
I use a software version of Finalizer. I also have the rack version I bought used a short while ago, but I haven't tried it yet. So I'm a little scared maybe it blows up when I put power on it. It's an old thing.
I got some of the TC plugins this year, this System 6000 stuff. Mostly because I was interested in the RSS4. Is that right? I'm not remembering quite the right name for that algorithm, but it's their newer reverb algorithm.
The small panels you can control the software.
No, not small panels. The stuff from the System 6000. They released the System 6000 plugins for native, and but I haven't dug in too much. The nonlinear reverb I think is fun. But I have some reservations about their current management and ownership. So, anyhow.
But did you get rid of anything
Oh, sorry. So yeah. So the sorry, I started that like this finalizer, for instance, it's on the queue to go out, but
Yeah.
but not actually out. Yeah, I yeah. So like to me, not active in the studio means it's on its way out. But yeah, it's still
Yeah.
here for some reason. I actually couldn't tell you. It's here because it's been a very very busy year. I don't love selling things. You sell things
No,
and then you
no,
miss them, and
me neither.
yeah.
Me
Yeah, I
neither.
definitely pared back the modular stuff. Um, Especially getting rid of cases. I had a lot of cases. Just I'm not sure what I was doing. It was just the thing about haha, like I'm going to tell everybody about modular, but you can get wrapped up in the cases. You're like, oh, this is cool, like a small configuration, or maybe no, maybe I got it just wrong. I need it all in one place, and then no, I need it to look more aesthetically unified or something. It's not sitting, and I no, the power's no good on this one. It'd be easier just to buy a new case. It was like all these different. So I kind of went through um, and let a lot of that go because again, it was the same. I had a whole collection of Instros um, that I bought, and I thought it'd be cool to have a whole system. And then it just got like, what am I doing right now? I just like I've got to stop. I got to slow down. Um, but I'm definitely another one that kind of if I'm not using it, after a year or two, and I definitely regret a few things, but I don't regret as much as that much. Most of the time, it's the right thing to do to let it go. Um, I did get rid of my Nord Wave. I'm a little bit.
Hmm.
I'm still a little kind of not sure I should have.
Okay.
It's one I do kind of miss it, and it wasn't real big, and I'm not sure why I did it. Now that I think about it, because it really wasn't using a lot of space, and it sounded great, but um, sometimes I just have to. I feel very strongly I've got to kind of remove things. Um,
Hmm.
I can't make decisions with too much stuff in it. Um, but that's one I do regret a little bit, I would say. I think someone mentioned in the chat the Mother 32. Yeah, I had a couple of those. I had, I got rid of the, what's the one I really like? The Subharmonicon. Um, but I made a whole album with it and I was really happy with it. And
Hmm.
that was kind of a bookend. I started to think about doing another one and I said, no, I don't think it's going to happen again. I
Hmm.
just got in a good space for a few weeks and really was happy with it. And then kind of went back to it and said, no, I think I'm done with this. I think that was it. I think it
Hmm.
was a spark. And like the good thing is I can go back. If these are the Wave is one that the reason I probably regret it is probably because I'm a little nervous I won't be able to go back that easily. Um, but yeah, a lot of the stuff I'm okay with, you know, moving it on. It's just kind of my mindset.
Hmm.
It's always been like that, you know. I had a bunch of friends and we used to swap and do sell all the time. So, but it is exhausting to sell it. So, um, that's why I'm trying not to replenish too quick this time because I really don't want to do that again. It's a lot of work,
Yeah.
especially the big sense.
Yeah.
I saw a Matrix Brute. That was just horrible boxing that thing. I had to
Huh.
make a box because I didn't have one, and it was just.
Yeah.
If you've ever had to actually make a box, like take a couple boxes and then
Yeah.
it's,
That's a drag.
it's really bad. But um yeah, so I don't know. Now saying that I would love a Polybrute 12, but that thing's not I feel like that's a commitment. That's a serious commitment. Figure that thing in the house. I'm not gonna sneak that one in. Um
I think I fixed my audio now,
okay.
so it should be mono.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just learned that using it as an audio interface, it what I do with the faders doesn't change a thing.
That makes
So
sense. All right.
yeah, so it's only the gain and the compressor, which is onto what is inputted to the computer, or what's affecting it. Okay, back to the topic. What would you have wished to came out in 2025 that didn't come out? What did you expect? Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, it's tough because, man, we've had so much stuff come out in the last 5 years or 5, 10 years. Amazing stuff. What in the world could we? Maybe Dan's can get something brewing. Evil genius.
Yeah, what did I wish came out? Yeah, projects
Yeah.
I'm working on, I wish
Yeah,
had
that's
come
the first thing.
out.
That's the first thing I thought
Yeah.
about. It's like, yeah, no,
Hmm.
I think things like the Astrolab kind of was, maybe that wasn't this year, but they came out with a smaller one. Boy,
Yeah.
there's something to be said for that whole thing they're doing. I haven't tried it yet, but that idea of being able to port things, and have some kind of usable controller.
Hmm.
I think that's really. I almost forgot about it, but and it just sets up everything in your whole ecosystem. It makes you want to get the V collection, makes you want to get pigments for sure. I gotta imagine they sold a lot of pigments, just people wanting to put it in a hardware of some sort, even though it's not perfect. So more of that, maybe. You know, um, I know, I know we can do that. I say that, but daggone, we can take that's what user presets are for. And you can, put whatever you want on the synth. I mean, that's what I loved about the Reface, right? I loved the Salmondo, and um, I love just that one's really different because it's only like 32 sounds you can have. So you're literally taking a synth and you can just change it all. Be like, okay, here's my new 32 sounds, and I'm gonna write a couple albums, and then you just go back and all right, I'm gonna put 32 more. So I don't know. I'm really into less in some ways, and maybe I'm not a good example, but that for me, I know intuitively that I only use 10 to 20 sounds in every album. So
This is the problem with being focused on, producing finished work.
yeah, it's a different mindset, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm joking with the fact
No,
that it's
I
a
know,
problem, but I
Yeah,
think it's very cool as opposed to having
yeah,
just this
yeah.
stuff around to play with and not produce anything. It's
It,
yeah.
you have it's definitely discipline. It's really like at some point you have to like it's got to eat at you that you haven't made a recording.
Hmm.
It's got to really bother you, and you know, and we all know that you don't have to do that, right? But if that is where you like to finally put your final hat,
Hmm.
then you better get serious about not what you're going to use and how you're going to make it sound and how you're going to get inspired, what instrument you're going to use. So for me, that's always kind of in the kind of in my mind. I'm always impressed by how some people can have more stuff and seem how and it doesn't bother them. Maybe I think that's great. I really do. I wish I could be like that because I probably would have a cool collection here. Um,
I wish I could stop buying.
I think it's an interesting thing to the so my finished work is all I haven't never really done an album of coherent stuff. And so everything is a one-off. I've been doing, song of the week things for a songwriting group, and I do these Christmas songs. Henrik, I don't know if you heard the Christmas song, and those are all they're recreations of classic tracks. So kind of by definition, they're all going to sound different. And the nice thing about having a large number of tools is that if one tool doesn't work, then you go to a different tool. And that's how I try to kind of deal with my groups of plugins and things. I have them fairly organized. Digital Performer has really nice plugin organization. And, so it's like, okay, this class of, I'm doing this Flock of Seagulls track, for instance, and okay, what reverbs were they using at the time for these sounds? And okay, it probably was plates, and so, going through and does this plate work? No, I'm not getting instant results from this thing, so switch to this other thing, and okay, I'm getting some results that I need, and but I really like the idea of I'm very much aware of when I'm starting from a blank slate. There's so many tools. There's so much that I can use. I have all my own synths. I try to use my own synths when possible. But even in those, my flavor is often to create very deep instruments, and so you have to know what you're going for. And the way that I work within that is to have good presets and to try to, and this is sometimes an interesting process, but to work with the sound designers and just to do it myself sometimes to create macro knobs that make sense for these different sounds, and that's often a real challenge actually, is if you want to take a sound that's, especially if it's one that's finished already, and then say, okay, well, we've got these 4 knobs or 8 knobs and we're going to try to make them so that they, that all the movements of them make sense and do something interesting and germane to the sound. But the people have written about this, the paradox and paralytic effects of too much choice. I remember Brian Eno, right? For a while, he was talking about, working only with the DX7. And this is very interesting to me because there just weren't that many synthesizers out at that point. But he was already feeling that. He was already feeling that he was wasting his own creative energy and making choices between devices. And he, I'm paraphrasing it, I'm sure quite imperfectly, but what I remember is him saying that, he made this very conscious decision that for a while he was just going to make music with this one thing because he wanted to know it deeply and extensively and to feel like he had mastery of this one thing. And it's very difficult to do that now with the extreme proliferation of hardware, both from major manufacturers, but also all these lovely boutique instruments that have their own voices, and so many plugins which have different capabilities and sounds and nooks and crannies that are interesting in them, and it's very easy to get lost in that. And I'm fascinated by the solution that you're proposing, which is or not proposing, but the one that you've found, right? Which is to say that I'm going to use all sorts of different stuff, but for any given project, I'm going to kind of concentrate on a few different things, and that does 2 things from my perspective. One is that it makes it so that you are able to really use those instruments and get into them deeply, as opposed to just using them on the surface and selecting a preset, and if that preset doesn't work, then go to something else. You're using them deeply and getting to know them. But it also means that if you're changing out that gear list for every project, then every project has its own sound, or even just changing out the presets that you're using for different projects, and that's going to kind of intrinsically give depth and variation to your oeuvre, and I think that's a neat solution.
Yeah,
approach.
I think the other interesting aspect of all of it is, and I tried to talk about, there's kind of like there's the gas element, but then there's, to me, it's the curiosity element, right? Mm-hmm. There's this belief. Well, I'll use the subharmonica for when I got it and I got into a certain place with it. I was like, man, this thing is special. Like, this is really special. Mm-hmm. And I understand, I was trying to use the filter, trying to do certain things. And I was like, God, can't do nothing. I can't get anything with this. And then I started really working with the poly and understanding the tune. Like, I didn't necessarily totally understand all the tuning, but I understood that when it started to do something really interesting. Um, where I'm going with that is that some of the curiosity I know for me when I bring gear in is I'm kind of looking for that magic. I'm really looking, and I know I'm not going to know till I sit with it and give it a fair chance. That I can only watch so many videos, or look at it, study it. At some point, I've got to just sit with it and play it. And I do want to kind of move through things because I do want to experience different synths. And it is hard to let them go on some level. Um, what I meant was that ultimately, when you do let them go, it's not that bad actually. You don't miss most of them nearly as much. For me, well, my opinion. Then you maybe thought you were gonna miss them. You know what I mean? Like there are times. Um,
I
I
don't
don't.
know. I
Go
don't
ahead.
know what you mean because
Wait,
I
wait, wait. Are you saying that you can sell gear?
yeah.
What I'm suggesting, this I am strongly suggesting. Oh man. Um,
Uh,
yeah, it's
Hmm.
you know,
but about using the same gear, I made an album some years ago where I decided to use. At that time, it was a plugin, and I decided to use only. I think it was two or three plugins for the whole album, and I gave myself a deadline. I will start Friday and I will end Sunday. Uh, with just finished songs, not mixed and mastered, just finished songs. And I did it, and then I mixed and mastered it, and it really went well because it was the same sound all the way through with the same plugins. So so it also makes me think of how bands in the good old days
that's
made
that's
music
where else you just
with
read my mind. Yeah,
yeah
that
with a bass, a guitar, and
yeah,
it was
you have a
same
few tones,
instrument.
but yeah. And that's I was going to say some of how I frame things come back to that. Like I do tend to really enjoy organ type sounds. There's certain things that are very classic, and I kind of know they open up a lot of territory as far as genres. That if that makes sense, I can work with them and say, man, they're sort of timeless kind of vibes to them. And then there's certain things you're kind of, all right, I'm in techno territory. you know, you can feel like they're a little more derivative in that sense, and that has nothing to do with the sounds. They're great. It's how we just bias them, and sometimes. But that being said, even within when I think of what is an organ sound, like it's like saying what does a snare drum sound like? Um, and I think you know what I mean by that. Like I remember I thought I knew what a snare drum sounded like in my mind until I got an electronic drum kit, and there was like 40 rolling snares on there, and then it kind of messed with me for a little bit, and I was like, I don't know what kind of snare I want. It's I just want the snares, that I know, the one on my drums, and so we it is it's tough. You got to kind of but we all have kind of I think to some degree classical composers have a whole nice palette. But if you kind of seem like when you hear them talk, it's like, well, it doesn't sound like a cello, and they can get very kind of hung up with the purity of it, So, which my point, I guess, is that you just gotta at some point you do gotta find some things you really enjoy and be okay with that and not feel guilty. It's like, oh, there goes Dave with his organs again, because I like some of the movement of of the those sounds, um, So, whereas some people, rolling strings, I love those too. Anything JP or any of those classic ones, to me, those are just beautiful sounding. Um, so, yeah, it's hard to pick. I got to tell you, it's really hard to choose nowadays. I'm starting to get concerned. I'm not going to be able to get through all these.
Yeah. What synthesizer do you think sounds the best in 2025? You're muted, Dan.
What kind of
be
synthesizer? Sorry,
Any
I
synthesizer,
said.
even your own.
He was playing with that Korg, man. He's probably. What is it? What's it called? The PS 1000. What is the name of that thing?
So yeah, so I wasn't playing very much with the hardware PS3300. I was playing with
PS
our
3300.
software,
Yeah.
our software version, and getting that all going and making sure that was all sounding good. And it's that's a very different synthesizer. I mean, that's the thing, is that there are I'm sure a number of different synthesizers which just sounded okay, and people don't, they were maybe good for something, and then time moves on, and then people maybe aren't as impressed by them anymore. But then there are synthesizers that sound really great, but they, and this would not be a problem at all for someone who is, who is looking for a palette, but they have a particular sound. Like you were talking about the subharmonicon and being very, very charmed by its sound, and and using it to create what you wanted to create, and then maybe deciding that you didn't, feel like creating anything more with it at that point. But that clearly is something that really spoke to you, right? And then I remember John Bowen talking about very early days of being a synthesizer salesman, and comparing a different synthesizer against a Moog, a mini Moog, and the other synthesizer had more features, right? But John was like, "But listen to the sound of this other one." And I mean, John did end up being a Moog sales demo guy for a while, but it wasn't from that. It was from just listening to the power of that sound, right? And I think the thing is that all of this stuff is subjective, and people are going to react in different ways and at different times. I remember Thomas Dolby talking about, and I really wish I could remember what Kraftwerk record he was talking about, but a Kraftwerk record that came out that he was excited about, and he put it on for the first time, and the sounds were kind of really thin and uncompelling, and it may have been something they were using, to FM for the first time. I don't know, but he said the first time that he listened to it, he was really expecting kind of big, fat, beefy sounds, and was extremely disappointed by it. And it took a while for him to listen to it again and, recognize it for being something that sounded great in a different way. It's a little bit like my mom talking about the worst Coke she ever drank, which turned out to have been a root beer. But if you're expecting Coke and you drink it, and it's it kind of looks like it should be, but it doesn't taste the same, then you're really, really thrown and turned off by the gap between your expectation and what it is. But which is one of the reasons why it's good to approach things, if possible, with few expectations, because then you don't experience the dissonance of the gap between your expectation and the reality, and you're more likely to be able to appreciate the reality of it. So anyway, a long way of saying I think it's a very subjective question, and they sound different in different ways. So the 3300, for instance, is one that has its own kind of richness due to the variations between all of the voices. but it doesn't have richness in well, it has richness in detuning, but from something else, from the fact that you've got these three things going on. It's just it's this different, it's a different character. And there are many beautiful characters out there, and I think it's a little bit like I try to um, be fairly broad in my taste with food. We have a pantry here which is swollen because we make all sorts of, we don't concentrate on just one uh, one tradition of food. Um, and I think that there are different traditions of synthesizers. There are samplers that can do really interesting things. There are digital synths that can do really interesting things. There are a whole and a whole bunch of different ways of approaching digital synthesis, and the same with analog synths. So, um, anyhow, I think it's a very subjective question, and for me, and maybe it's for you. It's the joy is in discovering new delicious flavors. Um, and how many different ones there are, and how to use them. Again, that really appeals to me about your working method. I love that. I may try to duplicate that and choose the gear that I'm going to use beforehand. Say, nope, this is all I can use in this one.
Yeah, I'm definitely there's lately I've been just trying to play the synths and just kind of enjoy them and not get too focused on how I could use it effectively in a song, Like as I work with the Kodamo, I'm certainly creating some patches and saying, okay, I need to find something. I go, okay, you can be good at this. But then I'm also trying to kind of just listen to it. And try to imagine, okay, somebody created, and I like people's presets. I've always really enjoyed presets a lot, and I have no problem using them. And I think I've said before that to me, it's kind of like a collaboration in a very, unplanned way. You're taking something someone created and creating something with it. It doesn't have to be all you, and it's just. I think it's looking at it in a way that's destructive for creativity, to see it like, oh, I have to do this all myself. I have to create my own. That's what I'm saying versus just saying, why don't you just kind of go with things a little bit more, not, make something that speaks to you and trust that maybe a lot of you's coming out in it. Probably a lot more than you realize, to be honest. So I am trying to learn to listen and appreciate some of the sounds that these synths can do. And I'm sure, Dan, you spend, in fact, I kind of feel like, I don't know how you do what you do and then try to make music. Like, I feel like that would be hard because you just got all this, you can hear things probably in a way that maybe is a benefit, sometimes maybe not, hopefully. Whereas I think I intentionally try not to understand too much or get too caught up because I'm afraid that I'm going to get kind of hung up on something, to the point that I'm going to kind of lose the whole plot to what's happening, what I'm trying to do. Now, if I was a sound designer, that would be totally different. I'm not really. It was a vocation. Henrik, where do you fall in all this? Good man, you just have beautiful. I think your taste, whatever you create. I know you've done some sound design. Where do you sit in with all this? Because you're clearly very creative. I know you're gonna, yeah. But
I get lost. I get lost sometimes, and then I have to. It's more like I get too far away from something because I don't use it for a while, and then I have to find a new way to do something, and and the idea of just using a few plugins, that was one way to get back to doing something creative. Um, yeah. I'm not as creative as I was earlier. Now I'm just enjoying the sound, and when I do those noise shows, it's just about enjoying. It's not about being melodic or or showing that you have talent. It's just about feeling good while doing it. So
Well, it is creative, though. I'm not trying to be argumentative, but
mm,
it's very creative.
mm,
Do you
okay.
mean more productive, maybe? Like you're not,
I were
because it
I
is. Yeah, sorry.
was more create no more productive earlier. Um, I'm not composing as much as I did, um, but then again, I have family. I only have a limited time with the gear, so I just jam with it when I sit at it. Um, I do have some old songs that I'm um, remastering. Uh, so I plan to do to release some albums with the old songs,
Cool.
and there are some almost 10-year old songs between, really bad produced, but if the whole album is in that category, it's okay. Um, but let's see what I can do when I master it. Yeah, that was not about 2025.
I know. Sorry.
It's okay.
It could be. You could figure out a way to.
Yeah, I can't.
No.
I can't finish it before 2026.
So
So
is there? What do you think what was your original? One of your. You asked basically what synth. What do you think the finest moment of the?
which sounded the best? Was it? Was it that?
Yeah, it was something to that effect.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Which one sounded the best? Yeah, it's a difficult one because new things came, but everything still sounds the same. I think, um, and yeah, I don't know. But my favorite, yeah, the best sounding one was the plugin for the multipoly.
Hmm.
I
Cool.
think.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
Yeah, a lot
very
of
kind
people
of you.
like that. Yeah.
yeah. And then the plugin Omnisphere 3. Uh, and
Which
that's
sound though?
um, yeah. But next question: which scent from 2025 would be the best door stopper? I mean, which one is so bad that you would only use it for a door stopper?
Oh, jeez.
I know, Dan, you're only answering private. It's not something from your company.
Well, yeah, I honestly, I don't think that I have.
Smells good.
Well, okay, I can think of something, but I'm not going to name it, and it's not from my company. And I think I don't know. I mean, you know, I think that mostly it's a waste of time to express hate for gear. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
Yeah, I think we all feel that way.
I
yeah.
loved when so I really loved Frou Frou and Imogen Heap. And Imogen Heap, for her first solo record, she also engineered it. And I don't know, these awards can be kind of silly. I think that she definitely deserved awards. I love her work. love it, love it, love it. I think that she also got this particular Grammy because she did it herself, but she got the the best engineered record for that, I believe. And I loved at the time she used for her vocals, she used a Focusrite Liquid Channel and a Neumann TLM 102, which were both widely despised on the internet. Um, but those two pieces of widely despised, and I would also say well engineered and very useful pieces of gear, or TLM 103, excuse me, not the 102. And she used these things which everyone trashed on the net, and she got the best engineered Grammy for it. So, I think that pretty much says it all. And also you have these many beautiful instances, right, of failed instruments, which are then embraced by people later on because they're really cheap, right? They're very affordable, so kids can buy them, and kids find completely different ways of using them and do really neat stuff with them. So,
yeah, the TV303 was one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It
So
sounded terrible. It really did.
It did, but if you use it the right way, then it does something. Anyway, so
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I do. I particularly wish that people were a little less credulous about claims of quality and modeling in the software space, especially. But I still think that's mostly about criticism rather than disdain, if that makes sense. I think those are two different things. I think that being willing to really listen to things and say what something sounds like, and look at technical factual differentiations. I think that's one thing. And the thing is that cheap and cheerful stuff, there's nothing that says you can't make a record with something that aliases terribly. Plenty of people have done that. So I think that there's also a distinction between talking about technological excellence and artistic usefulness.
Yeah,
I think both can be important.
Yeah. I also remember when I started making music or started buying my own synths, or synthesizer. The first one that I bought myself was a Poly 800. And what I got out of it was incredible. Today I have so many synths, so I would never get that much out of one synth, not even the Hydra synth. And that's pretty incredible. So you're right. It depends on the user. Some doorstops are not doorstops for others.
See, at first I was just thinking of form factor. So I was trying to think of little synths that would work well as a doorstop.
yeah. I mean, I love that they make little synths. There's a point where they get so little. There's a whole little batch of them that have been coming out. And I don't know. Some of them sound pretty good, I guess, especially the little poly ones. But they're not really. I think they're just too small for me. I can't really. It's not really hardware. At some point, it's just a little tiny computer or something that I can't do much with. It just doesn't have enough variation even in the filters and stuff that for me would be kind of, I don't know, there's not a lot of subtlety to them that would be a lot of fun for me at all. But hey, they're out there, and there's definitely a place for all that stuff for sure. Yeah, so it's mainly the little really cutesy little tiny boxes that it's nice, and they're out there, I guess, affordability wise. But I guess at this point, that's not really, what I want to do too much with them, So, that being said, I remember getting when the original Uno synth came out, and that was a little tiny box, and I thought it sounded beautiful at times, man. I was just jamming with it in the studio, and I sold it, of course, but I found some old recordings. I don't know what effects I had going, but that was one that it's still kind of a synth that's just stuck in marketing hell or something. And what I mean by that is just it's got no mojo in the synth world at all. It's never gained traction,
I'll be back.
and kind of feel bad for it in a weird way. I don't know why, because sometimes branding is important.
This is the Super 6 you're talking about?
No, I meant not the Uno, the actual, the little iKey
Oh,
multimedia. Yeah,
okay, sure.
yeah. The original one was really, I thought it sounded really fabulous just for a little tiny box, And then they made some more iterations of it. But it's another one where somehow there's something about it. I just go, no, I don't want that. There's too many other things that I would rather hear first. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just, it doesn't pique my curiosity. I guess that's what it is. It's the curiosity factor of like, I don't see why this would work, which is probably brutally unfair to the synth, to be honest with you. And that's the perception factor, of it. But yeah, no, I 2025, like, it is. It's getting harder now because there's so many soft synth. There's so much really cool stuff out there, and I think you really just gotta kind of, well, first you gotta decide what you want. Like, I just don't play with soft synths a lot. Like literally my studio is two different places, and I don't like to come over to the computer and play that way too much. And it really bothers me that I'm like that. It really annoys me because there's so much cool stuff, and I just can't stay over here and do it. It just, I don't know what it is about. I don't think I know a lot of people say, well, I work with computers all day and I just want to get away from them. I don't know. I think it's more just, I can't connect in that. I think for me, playing has always been a very isolated thing that I see differently, kind of separated, whether I was playing piano or drums. And I still look at synthesizers to some degree that way. I don't understand the whole, thing. Although I love the sounds, and I can totally relate to what Thomas Dolby's saying, because there's a certain dopamine effect, Well, shoot, a few of his albums are like that,
Golden Age of Wireless is so
Oh
much to
yeah,
me
when
that
I
way.
think of Wind Power and some of those songs, I mean, I grew
Just
up with them.
the feel, the environment of those sounds.
It's just like, that album for me, when it came out, was really like, wow. I just didn't even, there was so much rock and roll and stuff going on at that time. And there was a lot of new wave and different things, but it really hit me on a cerebral level that I didn't really even, I was like, wow, this is totally different. Like, this is really cool. But yeah, it's the sound. So I know what he's saying, that you can feel that way a lot of times. Though I will say that a lot of those same kind of things you go, well, it doesn't work real great on an album. You hear it live and then you go, oh, wow. Now it really is working. It sounds much bigger with the drums and the spacing of the instruments. But then you listen to it on the tape and you go, yeah, it's not what I want to hear from a synthesizer for sure. So now I got to find this Kraftwerk album. I'm sure I can find the interview.
Might have been with me.
I don't think any of us are going to answer your question though, Henrik. Your doorstop question.
Do you have an answer to it?
Andy's got an answer. He's going to.
I just woke up. I barely got an answer. So let's see what happens. Sorry, I overslept.
I'll turn down your volume a little bit so you fit.
Yeah. No,
Hey,
I
Andy.
have no doorstop sense. That's for sure. I
Oh,
wouldn't do.
doorstops, yeah. Actually, plenty, yeah, sure.
Um, and I don't know. I mean, I definitely want something like the third wave and that desktop and stuff. That would be the kind of stuff that I would welcome in the studio. That would be the kind of I like those kind of sounds too. I don't know what it's going for, but I think it's probably $2,000 at least, right? Jeez, they got to make a living though. I get it. You
Yeah,
know.
we gotta tell Andy what it's about, what we're talking about. Um, so will you say, David?
Um. Well, let's. I feel like the kid had just got called out at school. Huh?
Yeah.
Really bad flashbacks. All right, so you had a question about, well, what you got this year. I bet Andy didn't get much
I
this
did
year.
not.
Okay.
No. What did I get at all? Trying to think. It's been pretty sparse just because, money's been tight and other things are
Yeah.
going on. So car repairs, other things. Trying to think. I think at the beginning of the year I did get a Seek track. I think that's the fun thing I got this year was a Seek track that I still haven't had a
Oh,
time to even play with much. I got a case
Yamaha.
for it and everything, so I have no excuse not to take it anywhere and do mobile jams with it and learn how to use it and do videos on it. And it's like I think I learned enough to make a simple track on it. Go, okay, this thing's pretty cool. And then a couple weeks later, came back to it and go, what did I do again? I have no idea how to use this thing. So
Yeah, doesn't look intuitive.
it's not, but it is fun and it is cool. So
Yeah,
one thing I have to spend it's basically like a, a, a bigger kind of wackier OPZ,
yeah.
Hmm.
and so it's good. But yeah, it's you need the bake it in your brain, make cheat sheets for it, like everything else that's weird. Get some muscle memory for it, and it'll be a blast. So I'm looking forward to playing with that at some point. But yeah, it's just I think that was the only thing I got. Um, didn't even get any software.
And
I
what did
don't
you?
think.
The other thing was what the best sound. What do you think was kind of the thing for 2025? If I can kind of
Well,
streamline the
granular's
question.
still getting crazier and crazier and crazier, and everything either has it or is it or is a fancier version of it. That seems to be like the super popular thing that you know it's not just sampling anymore; it's granular, right? So, I mean, IntelliGel has that new module. It's crazy, super
That the
granular module.
multi-grain. Yeah.
Yeah, just there's so much stuff, and then even Endorphins has that thing, the little pink thing.
Mm.
Um, and then there's more software, there's more granular software. Pigments got crazier with Pigment 7. Granular, granular, granular. It's just like, it's nuts. And I like granular too. I mean, some of the Dawson stuff is really good from
Yeah.
um, there's other ones too that I can't think of. Oh, even, wait, did that? I don't think what's that hardware one that's been upgraded a couple times? Was that this year as well? The new version of that?
I
Um,
mean, like the tasty chips,
yeah, the GR something
GR1 and
other.
GR Mega.
Mega, yeah. Was that this year, the Mega? Or was that last year?
Mega, I think actually came out last year, but it's been
Last year.
they had problems, or I don't know problems. They were
Okay.
it was slow shipping on
Yeah.
those.
So those would be cool. But I mean, obviously the iPad I still have some of my favorite granular, like Borderlands and Sampler without an E, and a whole bunch of other apps. They're really cool. DCMS, I think it's called DCMS.
But granular, um,
A few other
it's
two.
of
Obviously,
big.
modular's still blowing up like crazy. Modular's going up. There's so many damn modules now. I can't keep track. They have the stuff Ramsey showed today. I either completely forgot about or didn't know what they were exactly, like what they did. The function wasn't obvious on a lot of them by
That's
the
modular.
name.
Yeah,
No, but I
that's
mean,
what.
they're just bizarre.
It's called make
normal.
noise.
But
Yeah,
but
I just like I'm like, huh?
A lot to keep
but
track of.
but granular. I know it's a bit off topic. Um, isn't it a bit like shimmer reverb? In a year, we will hate it.
Well, it's how you do it. Like, I mean, FM was hated for a long time, and people really started using it well, right?
Yeah, but that was mostly because it was with lots of menu diving. Uh,
And just limited options because no one knew how to do it, right? It's like I'm just use a bunch of presets.
yeah,
But then you get something as crazy as like the G4 software stuff with all those analog emulation things that are actually FM at their core. That's insane, right? So um, it's I don't know. Yeah, like anything else gets old after a while. But people still use damn auto tune. They never seem to get tired of that, even though that's really tiresome. Very little talk box, which I thought was cool always. I actually made one in high school, little talk box for cheap. Um,
Like an acoustic one.
yeah, this
Mm-hmm.
was it was in electronic music projects for beginners by Craig Anderton.
Mm-hmm.
He had a little simple thing. You go to Radio Shack, buy this horn tweeter. You get the proper tube, shove it in the horn tweeter, make sure it kind of stays in there, and then you stop it down with some um, smaller tubes that are softer. You can actually fit in your mouth,
Mm-hmm.
and then you hook it to a nice amplifier of some kind. Like I had a little Fender amp that I got for my first guitar,
Mm-hmm.
my first uh, little Squire Stratocaster Squire thing. Cranked that sucker up, and it was a wonderful talk box. You know.
Cool.
Then I later got a Banshee 2, Rocktron
Mm-hmm.
Banshee 2, which is really nice.
Yep.
But yeah, Talkbox is great. That should never go away. I mean, Zapp and Roger and Stevie Wonder doing the thing on the David Frost show, and yeah, they're all over the place. So yeah, anything you get tired, I think after a while. It's the application, it's the person showcasing it. People kind of made a big deal when Bon Jovi did Talkbox with "Living on a Prayer" and some other just cheesy songs. But at the time, it seemed cool to people. Hey, look at that! And or Peter Frampton obviously did it a lot. Like, "Do You Think Like I Do?"
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it just depends on how you showcase it and what you're playing, and if it's too many people doing it, then yeah, it's like that thing again. So yeah.
in 2025, now you're all from United States, and your prices have raised a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Among other
Which
things.
which sense has increased the most in price?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Can
Yeah.
you feel if it's all sense or it's only from different parts of the world?
One of the things is that prices are fairly slow to rise, and I think people have been swallowing some of the additional costs for tariffs. So you've seen some increases in price, but not as much as the actual materials have increased. I would guess that the smaller the manufacturer, the less able they are to do that. So I guess I would look at smaller synths, but yeah, I don't know. I know that ours have gotten a little more expensive, but I actually doubt whether the consumer is yet feeling all of the actual effects. And of course, the tariffs have been changing so quickly that people probably have just simply not bought them when the tariffs were insane. But I know that some components, I've been reading it. There's a great hardware engineer who does a bunch of stuff for synths and other audio devices, Joe Grisso, and he's posted. You know what? I shouldn't be quoting him, but I'll just say that I've read people talking about really stunning price increases in their components, where making something for the it seemed to me that making something for the same price would be completely non-viable with that increase. But I think a lot of that some of that has to do simply with chaos.
Yeah.
It's a sad and embarrassing situation here.
Yeah.
So hopefully it gets better.
Yeah, they kind of creeped up. Yeah, they've seemed like they've been holding everything this year pretty as much as they can. I haven't seen any wild fluctuations, but I haven't seen anything drop either. That's for sure. So I don't think there's a lot of good deals for sure. Yeah, so I don't know. It does seem like there's been better sales overseas, and then we're not seeing maybe the sales that we used to see. Then
I mean,
again,
the
I'm
Black Friday thing was pretty good though. I mean, that's always been
yeah,
nice. So
yeah.
I just
I,
again, I
I
don't have the
think
money.
people are. I think people are eating. I mean, like I was saying, like I was saying about the voltage lab and thing. I can't imagine they're making much when they're cutting it like that. If anything, I felt kind of empathy when I saw it that price, and kind of wish I could just buy one to help out some of these companies that probably need it. But
Yeah.
because that bothers me a little bit. That's what I was kind of trying to say about the voltage lab. You look at that. There's a lot of work in that, and there's a lot to it, and I just can't. At that price, I'm thinking, geez, they're just trying to find somebody that can afford
Also,
to
it's good
buy
to
their
see
products.
W&D and Ramsey's countdown because Ramsey had the
Mm.
they were almost dead and they got resurrected. So
Yeah, I mean, they're probably a shell of what they used to were.
totally,
But
yeah. But they're
not,
still there.
you know what I mean? Yeah, no, it's Of course, I've had to dial back some of that because I used to be one of those who was just trying to buy things from people just to help them, and then I realized that I just can't do that.
Yeah,
There's got to be a better fundamental solution than that.
sure. Plus, you have to be able to use it.
Unfortunately,
So
yeah, unless
or,
it is the synth you're really looking for. Yeah.
sure.
Um,
Okay,
uh,
let's keep the prices where they are,
yeah.
and move on. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Which scent did you use the most in 2025?
Well, mine's easy because I always use for the hardware jams. I use the Machina Plus.
Mm?
So it's because there's so many great things on there, and it's great for cranking something out in 2 to 3 hours max. If I limited time window to get anything done at all, if it's good enough to submit, that's my baby. But I mean, I just got the virus power supply replaced, so I could use my virus again now at some point. I love virus TI, so I would use that a lot if I could. Osmos I used a bunch as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to mix it up a little bit, not always use the same crap, but yeah, it takes time to hook everything up. So okay, this one's gonna do this one's gonna do this. How did I use that again? So kind of stuff. And pretty soon a couple hours are gone. I haven't done anything. So
I did use I went through a little period where I was using VCV. As much as I was saying I wasn't using the computer much.
Mm-hmm.
I did have a month or two where I just kind of really explored that. I made
it's
some
cool.
songs with it.
Yeah, VCR's
And
cool.
yeah, and I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
I think when I stopped enjoying it was when I started to scheme these ideas of way I could connect it to my hardware and get expert sleepers, and I've got to bring this all together now, and then it kind of just stalled the whole thing. I started researching it, and I didn't want to buy anything, but I did really marvel at that whole thing and what you could do. It's really,
I like my rack too, the little iPad version of it. It's obviously
yeah,
way
I bet.
behind in versions, but
Yeah,
it's very good. So
it's just crazy the value. um, and yeah, I would say for learning modular, it's just crazy. Like, I mean, I've never I never really experienced something like that where I just said, "Well, I just need another LFO. Oh, here, let me just grab another. Oh, let me just get. Wonder what it'd be like if I did this. Let me just throw another sequencer on this part." And it was so easy. Everything was so easy to
Yeah.
just keep building and building it. Um, as long as you stayed focused on what you were doing, because and even little things like the inputs and outputs, not being, you know what I mean? Like you didn't have to worry, like make sure I don't put this in the wrong place. Like it would just stop you. And so I don't know, I forgot all about it because that was earlier in the year. But I would say of the things that really I did this year, that was the moment where that was really super cool.
Mhm.
Working with that and talk about like taking you in a different direction. It's almost impossible to do things the way you do with VCV, in my opinion. You just gotta kind of just let go and just let it start to create. And I'll finish with this. The way I found it, the way I got it, where I would like create mixes on the fly with it. So I would just I still tried to compose with it. Like it was doing its thing, but I would mentally kind of map out. All right, I can change this here, this part. I can pull these wires out here and this part, and because it's like this beast that's just kind of running on its own. So yeah, for me, I haven't used it recently, but that was a lot of fun. It was an eye opener. Um, I think Paul Artola sent me some stuff early on, like a patch to work with. So it was real fun brain food too, just teaching yourself something totally, the first minute you're looking at it, the patch, and it hurts. You're like, oh my God, like, how am I going to figure this out?
And hey, it's
And
free
then,
too, right? So why not? So
well, that's the thing about it. It's the free stuff is crazy how much is
yeah.
there. And you can really record. I mean, you can do everything with it pretty much. Anyways, yeah. So that was a lot of fun. I forgot all about that.
I did forget one thing. I think came out. It didn't come out this year, but we got it this year. EOZ One Play from Sonicware. I think finally showed up this year, the beginning of the
Yeah.
year.
Mm.
And I had that for a while, and I was having fun with it, and put it again. Had a case for it, so no excuse not to take it everywhere. And I just got busy with stuff, and I go, how do I use this thing again? So it's obviously much easier to use than Seek Track, and pretty damn powerful. I just need to get back to that too. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, he hasn't put out anything in a little while. I mean, he was really, it was
Yeah,
like every other month. I
yeah,
wonder
yeah.
if he's having some supply issues. But yeah, he's got. I guess once you learn one, you can kind of probably work with all of them. Looks all the interfaces look pretty similar, except the sample track. We won't talk about that. I couldn't.
Yeah. They did improve it, so I give them credit for like making it more fun to use. Although it's kind of clunky the interface, they did
Stu-
make some shortcuts work better and stuff. But again, it's a lot of cheat sheets to really get it to work the way you want.
yeah.
Um, but I have lots of gear that needs cheat sheets, so that's okay. I mean, SP404 original needed a lot of damn cheat sheets because it was like layers upon layers of stuff on buttons and combo things to get anything to go, especially if you're editing and doing other things. And it was just kind of a nightmare, to use fully. You know, the new one's
Yeah.
much easier to use.
I got some cat samples out of the. I went when I first got the sample track. I went around and just recording the cats, and
Oh yeah,
yeah, so I got some use out of it. Next question, and
so about you, Dan? What's your most used stuff
oh,
this year?
Like I was saying to these guys, I mean, I try to use my own stuff where possible. So for synths, I would say the multi-poly.
Hmm.
Um, and if we put aside things that I'm using for testing, then yeah, it's that.
Do you like the module or you prefer the key version?
I use the keyboard and I also use the plugin.
Yeah.
Yeah, both.
There's a module version, isn't there? Or I got that
Yep.
wrong. Okay.
There's a module version. Yep.
Yeah.
I have fun with it. And of course, using my own stuff, it's always partially usage and testing and stuff. It all mixes together a little bit.
Has it changed much since it came out? Have they been adding things to it? I haven't tracked it.
We haven't added very much. We've gone through and fixed some bugs and that sort of thing, but we haven't added very much to the core functionality of multi-poly at this point.
Does a lot already, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's definitely on my list. I still want to get a mod wave as well. I think I have a Op6, and I was going to get a wave state, but I love my wave station AD,
Mm-hmm.
which already does so much. And it's like, well, the wave state's pretty cool, but I don't know. I still want to use my wave station AD and my SR. So it's a lot of overlap for me, although it does obviously much more, and it's got the great control set and stuff. So
it's a pretty different synthesizer. I would what I would say is get the demo of the plugin and play around with it and see if it does interesting things for you.
that's true, yeah. But there's a lot of the demos I've heard of like, oh, okay, that's very wave stationy, But obviously, yeah, more stuff, more. And I'm a sucker for touchpads, so
that would be on the mod wave and the multi-poly.
Yeah,
but not on the wave state.
Wave state, yeah. But because my one of my first favorite portable controller powerhouses with a decent engine was the X Station, Novation X Station 25. Man, that thing is great. I actually bought 2 of them. I loved it so much. It goes in a backpack. You put your laptop in there. Take the whole thing with you anywhere you want. Battery operated, audio interface, great aftertouch, stick and pad. One of the best control surfaces I ever had because it's so elaborate. It's great.
Well, since Henrik is in here, I'll ask what are you guys looking forward to in 2026? You're muted right now. Sorry.
Oh, just normalcy. A little less of everything.
Hey, you're asking for too much there.
Good
right?
luck with that.
Take a little bit out of every little
That's asking
of
too way
everything,
too much.
and that's
man.
what I want.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
I'm looking forward to NAMM just to see
Smaller
what the prices
portions,
come out.
yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
The best plug-in of 2025. David?
Pass. Hold on, Andy, go ahead.
Give
Give me a second. Let me think.
I think.
I guess I said a VCV, but I guess I can't say that. That's not new.
Plug-in.
What did I buy this year? Let's see.
I think there are 3. And one of them is the multi-poly.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah. And the second one is Omnisphere 3.
How much is it?
Then there's the new one, or old one, the Zebra number 3. Yeah. That's the most promising or best plugins this year, I think.
I play with
My
Zebra
opinion.
Let, but not Zebra 3. Yeah, it's hard to say. There's so many out there. I mean, I've always liked Omnisphere. I have version 1. And I also have Atmosphere, the precursor, which is also really good. But trying to think. Well, there are a couple. There's 1 or 2 from Dawson this year that were really nice. Don't remember if I bought them or not. I don't think I did.
I always enjoy the Ali James Lab stuff. So vProm came out with an update this year, and that's something that I use. Are you guys familiar with that?
No.
That's the same guy that makes the Simmons
Yep,
emulator.
he makes the Simmons, and I've got that too. So he it's a very small shop, French guy, I believe, and he loves Prince. So a lot of the things he does are kind of related to Prince stuff, and he makes these awesome Prince-like demos. And but this is this crazy drum machine that I think it started off as mostly a Lin drum model, but it's kind of expanded outwards from there. And he gets into really all of the interesting weeds of compression artifacts and interesting differences in outputs and that sort of thing. But the thing reads actual prom files, so that's part of its thing. So you can load in all your bit accurate prom files from your drumulator, for instance, and play these things back. And I don't know. I think the thing sounds great, and I think it's a lot of fun. So
That's
yeah,
cool.
vProm 3. Looking through my stuff here. Of course, Absinthe just came
that's
back,
true.
and that's
I love
exciting.
Absinthe.
I haven't
I'm
even
glad they
had a
brought
chance
that.
to play with that yet, but I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, the very first NI bundle I bought was the last one that included Absinthe on. And I'm just doing upgrades ever since. So, but I'm behind on that too. I didn't get the one this year. So I'll have to get that for Absinthe. I like Absinthe a lot.
And of course, Unify came out with their 2.0, which is a big deal. That's my friend John Lemcool.
Yeah, he's cool. Skippy.
I
haven't had a chance to dive into that. I mean, there's a lot going on with that thing. But I got it on Ramsey's show as a, name that synth thing. I won the thing, and so I had a free license. I still got to use it.
Oh yeah, it's totally fun. And lots of cool sounds in there, and of course he's been someone who's been really great at, especially I mean he's a great sound designer and a great sample creator. But one of the things that he always really loved at Korg was mixing sounds together, and so it totally makes sense that that's the focus for that synth, is to be able to combine a lot of different VST instruments into a single sound. And I think that's a really neat idea.
Yeah, it's nice that Roland finally added that to their online tools. Is that one? I forgot the name of it. They have a mixing app. Roland, it's last year I think they came out with it. It's an extra plugin they had that you can do the similar to Unify. You can basically go and mix a bunch of stuff together and have a hybrid sound going on, just like. But I've always done it with rack units and stuff, and just love. There's a great Music Track JP video where he builds like super synths, and he takes some kind of Paddy synth module and a more of an analog-y synth module or something, and then he builds these stacks, and they sound great. So I always love doing that. Just can't put too many. You get the MIDI timing off and stuff. But
and then as far as updates, also Serum 2, I think pretty amazingly full-featured upgrade in that compared to the original Serum. It's pretty stunning if you haven't checked it out. Henrik,
I wish
nothing. You gave your 3. You gave your 3 at the very beginning.
My 3. Yeah. Dave is back.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
The cat kidnapped you?
I was trying, believe it or not, I was trying to buy the Korg Monopoly VST, and I hit something on my Gmail, and I clicked something, and I was like, I just took myself off the show. I'll do that later.
Monopoly or multipoly?
I'm sorry, multipoly. Yeah, sorry. Old habits.
No, it's my fault for the naming.
Yeah, Absinthe was a surprise, wasn't it? I haven't played with it either, but looks awesome.
I have a bit. There's just so much new stuff in there.
Yeah.
Does Rob Poppin stop developing anything? I haven't seen anything from him for a while.
He's been coming out with stuff.
No,
yeah,
he's been
that-
coming out. I've seen some
he?
stuff. I just can't remember.
Yeah, I think he comes out with something each year
does,
because
okay.
when he upgrades his Explorer, the pack of all his synths, it's usually with a new plugin each time, at least
Okay.
one. So, but I can't remember what's new. I do have the latest Explorer, and it's installed on this machine.
I like
but
his older
haven't used
stuff.
it
Yeah,
yet.
Blue and Predator and all that stuff. It was great.
Yeah, he was online recently. I feel like showing some stuff. I remember seeing it come up on my YouTube.
Also, he did those great sounds for Emu way back in the day. Techno Synth Construction Yard and
Yeah,
Beat Garden.
Right.
Yeah, nice.
The album I talked about earlier, which I did during a weekend with the same plugins, it was some of Rob Parton's plugins, except for the drums.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Glad to see he's still doing it.
If anyone wants to hear that album, it's called 3 Days of Analog, and it's on my Bandcamp, GX3D.
3 days.
Hey, you have a Bandcamp?
I can find the link.
I just need to disable the AI stuff in Google. 3 days of analog is a phrase that could refer to a variety of concepts, including a specific new novella, an analog recording workshop, a productivity system by Ugmonk, or simply an intentional period of unplugging from digital life. None of those are the things that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Very useful, isn't it?
Yeah.
And here's a human with missing fingers. Yeah.
Let's invest another,
Yeah.
50
Yeah.
billion.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Here's my page on Bandcamp.
Jeez. Been on there lately.
You don't have to go there, all of you. You can talk.
We're busy studying the site right now.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
All right, I'll
So
stop.
I missed. Obviously, I missed a bunch of stuff earlier. Did you get new stuff this year, Henrik? What did you get?
Gear.
Yeah. Plugins,
yeah,
hardware, whatever.
Oh, plugins. Omnisphere. Yeah, that's about it. Zebra. I know the old Zebra, but I haven't tried the beta version yet of Zebra 3. I just know it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Howard is telling me that all the time.
Yeah. Guy makes good stuff.
Gear. I have the Polyant Synth, which sounds amazing, but yeah, as a small external synth, it's fine.
I think that's it.
And it sounds good, but it's I have it on the table right now, so I've been playing a little with it, but something is missing, which makes it inspiring.
Yeah.
So, and then the Torso S4, which
Oh, that's
is
right.
inspiring.
Granular, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and much more. I have it right here. I don't know if it's on. Can you hear it?
No.
No.
Do you have the other torso thing? The cool kind of randomizer weird
No.
sequencer thingy?
No, the is it called T1 or
T1, I
something
think
like
it is. Yeah.
that? No, I only have the S4.
Yeah.
I have it right here.
Oh, cool.
And what else? Then there's the Zoom mixer, the L12. And then I did get the Roland Gaia 2, and
I
Uh-huh.
had that.
in the beginning I liked it, but it,
Yeah, I tried it in the store. I didn't like it. It again, nice surface, looks cool. Sound was just kind of boring to me.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I went through, like, I jumped around a lot. So, okay, I'm going to try as many random presets as I can, tweak a little bit, and see. I'm like, doesn't, again, I'd rather have my X station. More controls. It just sounded cooler. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I like the.
And for jamming, I got the Behringer Edge. I got 2 of them, and they can really make something very random, very ambient, if you use some effects too. And one of the effects I got
yeah, I have
is the
I have an actual
collider delay
DFAM.
reverb.
So,
Is that what that itch is?
The Edge is one of the. It's a copy of a Moog, I think.
the DFAM.
I can't remember which one.
Okay. It's a DFAM. Okay.
Yeah,
I always wondered about that one. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they have the Mother 32 copy. They have the DFAM copy. They don't have the other one yet, I don't think. They're probably working on it.
I think they do.
Subharmonicon. I don't think they have a copy
I
of that
think-
one yet.
I think they do.
Do they?
Yeah, I
so.
think they do too.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
they
I'm
do.
not surprised. They copy everything. So,
And then I have what was it? What is it called? It's called Cobalt or Cobalt. Yeah,
remember the name
it's-
Cobalt,
It's the
yeah.
old French synthesizer, which
Oh,
Behringer
Cobalt, yeah.
released. Yeah. And I also
Cobalt
got,
Expander.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's very good, very good.
Heard that was good. Yeah.
Yeah. And people can hate Behringer for all the copies, but that one
Oh
is
yeah, that's I see
impossible
what you're.
to get.
Well, it's not just the
without them.
copies; it's the
Yeah, I wanted to
they
try
keep the
that.
cost down, so they don't build. The build quality's not great on most of them. But I bought some anyway, so
Yeah.
not this year.
Yeah,
but
Cobalt would be fun to try.
that one,
that's probably-
that one's.
yeah.
Let's try that one.
Yeah. And I also got a Moog clone. What is it called? Also from Behringer. It's called something with 15. Model 15. Is that?
Oh, right. It's sort of stretched out. thing, yeah.
That disappointed me. So I don't use that much. But the Cobalt and the Edge, those two or two edges, so those 3 are very good together when jamming. And then with some effects like the collider, delay reverb, and the torso, which also has inputs.
Because I think there's only one VST of the Cobalt. Somebody makes it. I forgot. I saw one around somewhere.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's not a common thing to get, so you'd have to buy the hardware.
Yeah. But it's mostly small things, except for the torso that I was bought, not born, but bought this year. But a few things. I also bought one of the really tiny ones from Behringer. Can't
The VS
remember
or-
what it's called. What?
The VS clone or something else?
Yeah, probably that one. It's not the VS clone. It's I think it's more like a Jupiter something. I can't remember.
Oh, the JP 8000 version, the little fake
Yeah,
JP 8000,
Yeah.
which is only has 4 voice or something.
yeah.
It's like they're copying from the boutiques, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I played with it on a nice show once and haven't touched it since.
Yeah.
It's too tough.
So
I also forgot to mention, since NAM was not that long ago, earlier this year, the Terra. I have the Terra, so.
uh,
But
what have you got? Yeah, Andy.
oh, that was pretty much it.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't have any money to do Black Friday stuff. It's tempting, but just
Yeah,
things are slim.
yeah.
Lots. I mean, I would like to get upgraded studio stuff, upgraded
Yeah.
packages like Native Instruments upgrade, and I didn't get the latest Ableton suite, but I have the one from last year, because they had that deal with Novation. If you recently bought a Novation product, and somehow one of my products, I guess the serial number was considered recent enough that I qualified, I was able to get the bundle last year for pretty cheap. The suite, because I did want to get a Push 3, and without the full suite, or at least a full Ableton Live environment, and of course that I like the Max stuff.
But yeah,
you need to have that to make the Push 3 really sing. So
yeah, but about Ableton, I think it's only the Max stuff which is interesting. The DAW itself is too simple.
well, I'm not a big DAW person anyway. I like the hardware stuff mostly, but yeah, it's cool though, and the Mac stuff is good. But the problem is, Max MSP and Max for Live are two different beasts. You can't just port the code over. So you can put all this damn time into Max for Max MSP, which is some of the cooler stuff actually, and try to bring it over to Max for Live. And it's like, kind of good luck with that one. You can't just drag and drop, and you have to kind of recode things. And I'm not much of a coder anyway, so if I have to do that much more work, I probably won't do it. You know.
What's happening, Dan?
I was curious about that because
It's like some perspective.
the on Max MSP, I'm curious about what you're experiencing when trying to take things from Max for Live and putting them into Max Max for Live. What are the issues that you're encountering with that?
It's just different. The plugin format is different, so it's not drag and drop. They're different containers.
Okay.
So you have to finagle it and stuff. That's why you find like, oh, you go on the website, the user areas and stuff. You go, oh, here's something for Max MSP. Here's something for Max for Live. It's always delineated. It's never just like drag and drop, plug and play. You have to do things, and there's certain things I do want to incorporate. There's a really cool video MIDI thingy somebody created for Max MSP, where you can use a camera. So from a microscope show that I do, microscope critters and stuff, I want to have microscope critters drive the music. And so with the movement on the camera, different things coming in and out, crossing, and also different light values and stuff, can modulate MIDI stuff as well as timbres and things like that potentially. So I really want to explore that. Well, it's only for Max MSP. No one's made a Max for Live one yet. So I would have to either get some serious help on one of the forums or find some super Max nerd who knows how to do that, and that is not me. So I don't have a full license for Max MSP. That's a whole other thing to buy. And it's not that cheap, to be honest. Well, last I checked, but
that's a lot of stuff there.
Yeah. Otherwise, I would do it. If it was like, oh, if you have a Max for Live, we'll give you a deal on Max MSP or something like that. They don't do that, from what I can tell, which kind of sucks. Should contribute, help out your customers a little bit. If they're using your product somewhere else, it's still a Max related product. How about we get like a deal or something, But maybe they don't do enough volume to do that. I don't know.
I don't think anyone's getting rich off Max.
No. But I use Max since version like just Max. It wasn't even Max MSP back then.
Sure.
On the Mac, Mac Quadra or something like that back in the early 90s. And it was amazing. They even had back when BOS was a thing, this thing called Audio Elements was basically their version of Max, and it was killer. And because BOS is so efficient, it didn't choke. You could make these crazy elaborate things that Max on a Mac would become like, that's too much. Slow down a little bit. You know, it's too elaborate.
Mhm.
So good stuff.
Okay. I usually keep the show at around 2 hours, so let's wrap it up. What do you wish for 2026 of synthesizers?
Sorry, say it again.
Yeah, what do you wish of 2026? What do you wish about synthesizers, or which product do you want the most next year? If you could invent it, what do you want for 26? Yeah, who want to start? Shall we
How about
take
someone
the
whose job
schoolboy
isn't
again,
inventing new
David?
synthesizers?
Man, that's a good question. I'm trying to. Synthesizer wise, it's just all out there.
Let's make it easier. It needs to, the new synthesizer should be something that isn't invented yet, or contain something that isn't invented yet. What do you want?
I'll do one.
Feature
I'll do
wise.
one.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I love the idea of the Osmos. Right. I've been using Poly Aftertouch since the Ensoniq keyboards long ago.
UPS, the first one, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I love this thing. I don't use it as much as I should, but I just think it's so cool.
Yeah, I got one too.
And the Osmos, I really wanted to connect with it, and I think that I have some friends who are monster keyboard players who are loving the Osmos. It's not their only synthesizer, right? But I mean, these are really heavy hitter dudes, and they love it. For me, I would like something that somehow managed to be like the Osmos, but still feel like a normal keyboard. And I don't know if that's possible or not. I mean, that's really what they're going for, right? They want to give you all of the axes of expression and feel more like a normal keyboard, and they're more along that line than anything that currently exists. But and I'm very glad that they made it, and I want to see that technology kind of move forward to the point where I feel like I can really play normally on it, because I'm not a great keyboard player. I play synth actions and I play piano, but I feel like the Osmos is going to push me in a specific direction for playing, and I would love something I could just stick on my desk and use it all the time as my only keyboard. And I feel like I couldn't quite do that with the Osmos yet. And again, this isn't a criticism of that instrument. I think it's really neat. It's its own thing, but it still requires its own performance practice, And I'd like something that was a little bit. I wish, and I'm very glad that they're making something which is less that way than other really neat instruments like the Roly and the Hopkins
You're not a
Continuum.
fan of the Seaboard? You're not...
Yeah. I have a Macmillan thing here too, and it's really neat, but it's very, very different than playing a piano keyboard. And so, an Osmos is the closest to that, which makes me really excited about it. But I want to see what they do next. Well, but I mean, it's not just the existence of Poly Aftertouch or not, but the multiple axis control that the Osmos gives you.
Yeah.
So I want to see more of that stuff. I want to see that stuff get even better. Mr. Stripe is thinking very hard right now.
Yeah.
I had a couple ideas. I know the Osmos. I don't know. I might get things thrown at me on the internet. I wouldn't mind a mini keys Osmos. I think I would really like that. Something that had about 60, maybe 61 keys. Just something. That's why I kept staring. I have to like look at my setup and kind of like what's wrong with it, you know. And I do.
Hmm.
I'm in the same. I really want a great controller, you know,
Hmm.
whatever that means. I really want
Right.
something with not just aftertouch. I'm like just really, really great feel, great velocity, a lot of sensitivity over velocity. I want to be able to really work those features, you know, even having a control for velocity. Because I've always said for me, velocity is just as important as poly aftertouch. I
Hmm.
really, I want a lot of range with it. So something like that that I could extract potentially more out of the keyboards or
Hmm.
the synths. I'm sorry. Really appeals to me. I think I think that's something I'd love to see. And then I'll just throw. I'd love a little bit larger mini freak. Um, I like a super freak. I like to see what they could do
I'll
on it.
probably make one.
I just want to see if they can take it to another level. I can't take credit for that. I saw it somewhere, but
Yeah, they'll
I
probably
think
make
they
one of
gotta.
those. It's popular.
I think they should. I think even if doesn't go anywhere, I don't know what that even means. It's just such a great product. Um, it's a great synth, and I think they should take it to 11, whatever that is. So, but yeah, getting to the Osmos thing, I think a mini key, something along that line would be super cool for me. Um,
My only
yeah, I
problem with
think.
that is the Hydrosynth Mini, the Explorer.
Mhm.
It's cool and it's portable and all that stuff. I just didn't like the mini key feel. I like mini keys on certain
But
things.
actually, it does have a good touch when you. It's
It's the responsiveness, right?
It's
impressive.
responsive, but it's the feel. It just felt not as high quality as the proper size one.
Of
To me.
course, it's
Yeah.
very cheap,
Yeah.
but for the price, it's very good. I think
Yeah, for
a
sure.
very good keypad.
Just like the reface keys on the
Yeah,
Yamaha stuff are amazing.
they have
They're a
real
little
nice velocity too. Even though I
yeah,
will say
And remember, there are
some of
people
it's
with small fingers.
sure.
you know, look, I don't know. I do. I think you just. It's another. You know, I grew up with a piano too. I'm a terrible piano player, but I grew up. But I will say, as I use mini keys more, the big keys are starting to feel really big. Like I'm like, holy cow! Like, you know, when I got a Hydrosynth, those keys look ginormous to me, and I really wanted to shrink it, which was
Yeah,
strange, but it's a space thing for me. Um, But
yeah.
yeah, like I said, just like a lot of control on the controllers. You know, like the
Hmm.
reface has nice velocity, it does, but it kind of swings on you. Like it's very sensitive, but because there's not a lot of play,
Yeah.
you can really all of a sudden like you have to really be careful with it. You know, in
Yeah.
fact, right now that's what makes it not the greatest
For
controller.
sure.
But I know what you're kind of saying, but I like them. You know, I think it's possible to make a mini key that feels good. Now, will it feel good to everyone? Probably not. No, but
Yeah. A lot of people just
feel
hate
good
looking
to
at it. Oh, it's a
most
mini
of
key. I'm not
us.
even touching it.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
think
I
it
won't shit
just
on mini keys. I have a lot of mini key stuff, so it's
it's
fine.
just counterintuitive to say I want a high quality mini keys. I think probably to a develop that's a little counterintuitive when you're trying to like make something more affordable and then you're asking for the highest quality in a mini key. I guess it's possible. I don't know. You know, at the
Yeah,
right price point.
yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that I don't know. I think that both Korg and Roland have worked on kind of higher quality mini keys because there's also an aesthetic, as you're saying that, um, and it's I think it's stronger perhaps in Asia, but there's an aesthetic for having smaller instruments, and I think there's also a movement
Yeah.
for synthesizer players who may be less shredders, or even people who are shredders. I mean, I don't know. There's I think there's a curve that you go through. So there,
Yeah,
I see someone Corey Henry
yeah.
he'll make anything sound amazing, and you watch Jordan on an iPad, and
Mhm.
you're like, well, okay, all right, that's what you can do, and you're really good. Um, but there definitely is. I think there are both. There are some really really inexpensive mini keyboards, and there are also some. I have somewhere around here I have a microKORG or a mini log, excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that one sounds pretty good. And Roland brought out their, I'm not going to remember the name of this product, I'm sorry, but it was it was like a flagship mini keyboard, around $1,600. They had it was the Jupiter 8X or Jupiter
Oh,
X.
XM.
XM.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
XM.
Yeah.
Always
It
wanted to
was
try
nice.
that.
It felt good. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
There's also this one.
I do think it's, yeah, I think a trend
Sure.
makes, I think, yeah, I like that. I'm a trendy. But I think there is a place for that, the smaller form factor. I just think that's part of where we're going with things, but I mean, obviously having choices is great. I'm kind of at the point now, if I have to have a choice, I'd rather have reduced size keys. What is somewhere, it sounds like there is some of that going on too, where there's normal size keys, i.e. piano sort of, classic synths. And then there's many keys, like those dreadful little Roland, what was the System 8? What's the one we always make fun of, Andy? The System 8 ones, or the System 1. Oh God, those are bad.
Terrible keypad, but a great control surface with
I
the
know,
scatter.
but it killed
and,
it. It killed the synth. I couldn't keep it. It was just,
But I bought a System 8
Made me
anyway,
sad.
so that made
Yeah.
up for it. So it still doesn't have the best keypad, but at least it's better than the System 1 keypad.
but then I was going to say there's been tiers, and there's definitely been improvements. I thought the Mini Freak was pretty good. It felt pretty good too. So there are some mini keys coming out that I think definitely feel a lot better. To me personally, is
It
playing
passed the
them.
Darren test, park bench compatible, right? So they're portable, they're battery powered, they're useful anywhere. Very, very useful. I love stuff like that.
What if and I'm sorry, this is my ADHD that points me in this direction. What if they made a keyboard with fat keys at the bottom for the fat basses and smaller keys at the top?
Wow. What would you do in the transition between the two?
It would confuse
Yeah.
people, yeah. Because your
So
fingers
it's like
doing
two
this,
people
and then you have
playing,
to
the
squeeze over
small
here.
finger people are on.
Yeah,
Sure, it's a duet keyboard.
yeah.
I don't know what I am actually. I don't think they're fat fingers, but
I think if you're a bad keyboardist, that would make you worse.
get
But
confusing.
let's wrap it up for today or this year.
Real quick, I want to throw
Yeah.
something in there for stuff I'd like to see next year, which won't see, but a proper VP1 emulator or something with really good physical modeling. We need more physical modeling stuff. We have the power, we have all the memory and the horsepower in the world now. There's no excuse not to make a kick-ass physical modeling box, or hybrid with granular, hybrid with virtual analog, some kind of catch-all, a little bit of everything in one box, a little bit of FM, whatever they're going to do. But I love physical modeling. I mean, I love the VL series stuff, the Prophecy, Cork Prophecy, the Techniques WSA1, all that stuff's amazing. So more and more like that, please. More and more and more.
Yeah, I also have a wish, and that is that old plugins, like for example the old VST 2 or is it a 1 plugin called Crystal, that they come in new versions so we can use them again.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, there are so many fantastic plugins from the old days that are simple and do simple things, but if you want to load an old project, you can't use them today. So your old project won't work. Please update all that old stuff. But that is probably not going to happen. Well, let's end it then. If you liked this show, please click like and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And then I would like to say thank you to all the chatters who have been around. It's been nice entertaining you. And thank you to the guest, Dan from Cork, David from somewhere,
Colorado.
Colorado.
Okay.
From the mountains.
and Andy from California.
Yeah.
So and I'm from Denmark. So I hope to see you all next year. It's been a pleasure having you.
Thanks,
It's
Henry.
great talking with you.
Yeah,
Thanks, Dan.
Good to see
Thanks,
everybody.
Andy. All right.
Yeah.
Take care.
care.
Take care, Dave.
Please stay after the show for
Okay.
a little while.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So let's find the outro. It's right here. And to everybody out there, Happy New Year.